Okay, so the economic problem or the challenge in the United States is that there are more people that are getting older, and when you get older, you require more services like healthcare, and you can't be as productive in the economy as you were when you were younger. And so the society kind of shifts to being like a younger society that's full of productive people that are working and being productive. And it shifts more towards like a, consumer type economy where there's less people working. The younger people that actually still are working have to support the aging population, because everyone knows when you get older, you're not going to work as much. You're not going to be earning money. You're not going to be doing things, as much to help other people or to help the economy. And you're going to be, think about it, like you're going to be in the hospital more. Maybe you have to go live in like an assisted living facility, and your main focus is just on your well-being. You're not really working anymore or like paying taxes at the same rate. So as the population gets older, you're going to have a situation where less and less people are working, and people are getting older, and so they're having to move on to that next phase of their life. And all of this was fine in a system where there was a lot of young people, and you had a very strong base of younger working people that were supporting the system and paying taxes and helping keep society going through taxation and through keeping the roads nice and having public money for social programs and even like Social Security, Medicare, to make sure that, as people did get older, there was a strong base of people that were supporting the system and were paying to basically subsidize the life of people that are older, or at least help make it easier for them as they get older. And so we still have all those programs today, right? Like Social Security is still around, and Medicare, and all these things that people pay into throughout the course whenever they're working. And then when they reach a certain age, they get the benefit of that. The issue now is that there's just simply not enough people to support the older people. It used to be a much lower ratio. It used to be like 3 or 4 to 1, or maybe even 2 to 1. Like there was a lot more workers for every retired person, and now there's a lot less workers for every retired person. So, if one person is like collecting a paycheck for doing nothing, and then everyone else is supporting them, you're going to have a problem, right? Because there's not going to be enough people actually working and earning an income to support all the people who are claiming government benefits, whether that's Medicare, Social Security, there's a bunch of them that you could potentially qualify for, I guess. But all of that money, theoretically, has to come from earnings and wages and taxation. And I think less and less of it is actually going to come from the real economy. It's going to come from just money printing. And what that does is it devalues the purchasing power, because the central bank and the government is just creating money instead of actually, taxing like earnings. So what that does is it inflates the currency. So the real purchasing power of the dollar goes down. So people will still get, and I've said this in other videos, but people will still get their benefit. If you worked however long, 20 years, 15, 30 years, whatever you need to qualify for Social Security, you'll get whatever that benefit is, but the purchasing power of the money will just continue to go away, because the government has to print money in order to honor their commitments. They can't actually tax the existing supply of production to get all the benefits for the people that are getting older. So it's really a silent tax on people that are working, and on everyone really, because all the people that paid into the system, when it comes time for them to get their benefit, they're going to get a nominal amount of money that isn't worth as much. It'll be able to buy less, because the government has to create that money out of thin air. They don't actually have the real money because there's not enough taxes coming in, right? There's more government liabilities than there are taxes by like a couple $1 trillion a year, I think, right? The money that we actually bring in through taxes does not pay for all of the debts that we have and all the debt obligations that we have and interest for the programs that we're on. So it's really not sustainable. And the only way that they will honor it is, and they will honor it, I think, but like I said, they're going to just print the money into existence. And it's the same thing as if you had just a bunch of gold or diamonds that just happen to fall onto the earth. If there is a huge supply increase in a commodity, the price of that commodity would go down. And it's the same with the dollar. If the government decides to print trillions of dollars and hand it out to all the citizens, and now all these people have more money, it floods the economy with currency and it devalues the currency, right? What used to cost $100 now maybe costs $200 because there's more money chasing fewer goods. There's not enough production and there's more money that's pumped into the system. You saw that during COVID, right? That's a perfect example over the last five or so years where all this money was artificially pumped into the system. And what happened? Look at what house prices did. Look at what prices of basically everything just shot up. Cars went way up. Dealers were charging $10,000, $20,000 over the MSRP, and people were paying it because there wasn't enough inventory. Like if you wanted to buy the good, you had to pay a very high price because there was a lot more money than there was products. And money, think about it, right? If you have these pieces of paper, if there's an unlimited amount of money and there's not enough cars or there's not enough food, people will not take the money because there's not enough of that commodity. People would rather have food than money if there's a shortage of food because they're going to die if they don't eat food. So you need to have a balance of money and goods in the economy. And if there's too much money chasing too few goods, then the price is going to go way up. So that's what happened during COVID. And I don't see how it turns around. The demographics of this country, there's not enough people being born. There's not enough young people to support the aging population. Now, maybe technology and robots are going to make everyone just be more productive. But, the social security system is really like a Ponzi scheme that they don't have the money for the program. So they just print it into existence. And it's really no different than me as an individual citizen. Like if I had access to a money printer, I could just print my own money, and instead of actually having to go work a job or go do a service for someone and earn the money, I could just go into my basement and, print $50,000, and then I could just go use that money. Someone else has to work maybe 6 months out of the year to earn $50,000 versus the government can just print the money into existence and it's there just like that. So, most people just get screwed on that. Their purchasing power devalues greatly, and they can't buy as much. And so that's why you want to try to put your money into things that are going to go up over time, like real estate or assets or the stock market. And people do that because they know if they just hold their money, it's going to get devalued. But I think it's going to get even worse because there's not enough production to support all of the programs that the government has, right? They are going to have to continuously dump money into the system, which will, devalue what you have. So, again, what do you pay for groceries? What do you pay for food? What do you have to pay for housing? It all costs more of this. And when you trade your time for money, if you're not getting enough money, you're going to not have much left because the prices of things that you have to pay for on a daily basis just continue to rise. So it's my thoughts. You guys let me know what you think. See you in the next one. Take care.